Hello, it's Michelle with Books Cause Insomnia, and in this video I'm going to be doing my March Mystery Madness reading. I probably look like I'm in a different place. This is my home. I'm just sitting in my kitchen right now, or well, actually my dining room eating area. For March Mystery Madness, the theme is spring cleaning, and there's 4 different prompts. The first prompt is messy, as in the protagonist has a messy life. And the book that I chose for that one is Border Town Girl by John D. MacDonald. This one says, once Lane Sanson had been a somebody, a war correspondent and a best-selling author. Now he was a nobody, bumming around Mexico. Lost, lonely, hungry for hope, he was a pushover for a border town B-girl, the perfect fall guy for a lethal frame-up. And then it says, Linda, she was born with the morality gene missing. As beautiful, as inviting, as treacherous as the sea around her, Linda is one of the most compelling women yet, created by John D. MacDonald. I started reading it and I wasn't really enjoying it. It was kind of interesting, but there's 2 book prompts that I don't really care for. One is bank heists and the other is drugs, like drug dealers trying to get away and like killing each other and that kind of stuff. And it found out really quickly that's what this book is drugs. So it's just kind of not my thing. I'm just not into it. If I have enough time at the end of the week, I'll try to get back to it and finish it anyway. I feel like we all have subjects that we don't like reading about. And yeah, I wish I had seen on the back that that's what it's actually about. But let me know down in the comments what subjects a book can be about. And you just think, yuck. Like, I'm just curious. I feel like we all have them. I probably have 20 more that I'm not thinking of right now. But for the prompt rinse, it's supposed to be kind of like a classic mystery. And I chose Death at La Fenice by Donna or Leon. I really enjoyed this book. I really liked the writing. I liked the descriptions of things. The protagonist feels one-dimensional, but it's written in a way that I feel like I've been to Venice now, if that makes sense. I wanted to read an excerpt of this book just to give you a feel of the writing. Brunetti walked up toward the hotel, still lighted, even at this hour when the rest of the city was darkened and sleeping. Once the capital of the dissipations of a continent, Venice had become a sleepy, provincial town that virtually ceased to exist after 9 or 10 at night. During the summer months, she could remember her courtesan past and sparkle, as long as the tourists paid and the good weather held. But in the winter, she became a tired old crone, eager to crawl early to bed, leaving her deserted streets to cats and memories of the past. You're okay. Olive is crying in the background. I'll try to get some footage of her. She's laying on the couch pouting because I won't let her bark at the neighbor dog. This book talks a lot about the differences of Venice and other parts of Italy, and it talks about the difference between Italians and other people. I wouldn't say it's very politically correct. There's a lot of stereotypes and stuff in here, but in some ways it's kind of refreshing sometimes to read something that's not politically correct and not have somebody kind of tiptoeing around what they're trying to say. They just come out and say it. When I was reading the comments, I saw like the reviews, I saw a lot of people saying, well, he kept going over the same thing multiple times, and it took him so long to solve the crime. It wasn't exciting enough. It's like, okay, I know we live in this world where every video is 2 minutes long, except mine. I know we live in a world where people want things really fast, and they want them quick, and they want them exciting, and they want them bold and whatever. But I'm not sure how that makes sense with a book. Like, a book is like, sit down, calm down, relax, take your time. And yes, there are some books that are more exciting than others, but when we're talking about the life of a detective, um, from what I've learned watching my little reality detective shows and such, detectives spend so much time going over the same thing over and over again. And they say that their job is actually not exciting at all. It's very slow paced, there's a lot of repetition, and it's very boring. And so I just thought it was really realistic. It was a little bit easy to guess um, who did it, but the why and what was going on, I thought was a nice twist at the end. There's some things that the protagonist did at the end that I really wasn't expecting and enjoyed. And I recommend it if you enjoy a slow burn book and if you're looking for something a little bit different. Oh, and I forgot to tell you what it's about, didn't I? So it's about a detective, Brunetti, right? Brunetti? Gosh, I just finished it this morning and I already forgot the guy's name. Yeah. It's about a detective, Brunetti, who is trying to find out who killed the maestro of the local opera house. And now that's the other thing, though. I happen to love mysteries that take place in the theater or in the art world or that kind of thing. It's kind of okay, kind of like I was just saying, we all have our different interests. Not into the drug scene, really into the opera and the theater scene. And I have just started the next 2 books this morning, so I should be able to get through those hopefully pretty quickly. And I'll check back in with you as soon as I have something to say about them. I'm watching a hockey game and Puppy is cuddling with me, and she's slowly been moving down onto this ottoman that we have. And she does this thing when she takes a nap where she starts getting warm and she starts scooting out of her sweater. So her sweater's like almost all the way off. It's so cute. She just knocked out. And then she's got the nerve to have these cute little feet over here. Right? Oh my gosh. I just love her. Good morning. I am checking in with you to let you know how the end of the March Mystery Madness week went for me. The next book that I chose was Gone with the Groom by Janice A. Thompson. This is just a random book I found on a clearance page of Better World Books, and it said that it is a cozy mystery about a woman whose daughter is getting married and the groom disappears 2 weeks before the wedding, and so she has to try to find where the groom is. I thought this would be a good choice for the lather prompt because the protagonist is a sleuth who's trying to clean up this mess before her daughter's wedding while also trying to plan the wedding and pay for the wedding. Now, I noticed right before I went to read it, when I was looking at the back, it says that it is a Christian cozy mystery, which is fine, but it was really kind of preachy. There was so much talk about Bible verses and about praying and stuff like that. It really took away from whatever the mystery was. I didn't feel like there was any attention put into the mystery at that point. I was on page 67 when I finally decided to DNF it because it just, to me, didn't feel like... I'm thinking cozy mystery. Now, I guess I'm kind of a cozy mystery snob, but there's certain criteria I think have to be met for a cozy mystery, and there was no coziness in the book. I guess they replaced it with maybe the prayer and the religion, and I don't mind that, but it just felt way too over the top for the kind of book that it is. The fiance who's gone missing, there's pretty constant mentions of him being this practical joker. He just thinks he is so funny. He's constantly trying to pull one over on people and do all these different things that are just so hilarious, except I didn't think they were that funny. So I found the Groom's humor to be very cruel often, and I didn't get what was so funny about it, but I also kind of felt like, why is this girl even wanting to marry him? She sounds like this wonderful person who has all this stuff going for her, and she's marrying this guy who sounds like a real jerk. And then they go to his apartment to try to figure out where he went, and they're talking about just how epically messy this guy is. And once again, I'm thinking, why is she marrying him? I mean, I get there might be a little clutter around somebody's house, but the level of messiness that she's talking about. But she's saying it in this really like, oh, you know how he is. There's always an inch of dirt on everything he owns. And I'm thinking, what? I was rolling my eyes because I was reading a lot more about all the different practical jokes he played on everybody over the years than I was about him being missing or where he might have gone or trying to find him. And it just felt very grueling and tedious. And I just kept finding myself looking for anything to do other than read this book. I was really sad because I thought it sounded like such a fun story that Groom goes missing. You're trying to find him before the wedding. And then the last prompt was repeat, which is reread a book or reread an author. And I thought, well, I've been on quite the Agatha Christie kick lately. Why not read one of her books? And I've got a nice chunk of books of hers that I haven't read yet that I had found at different thrift shops and such. And so I have this one, After the Funeral. In this book, a man named Richard has passed away, and his family goes to the reading of his will, and his sister makes a comment about how, well, it's very common knowledge that he was murdered and nobody's talking about it. And everybody thinks, what? They thought he had died of natural causes. Well, the day after, I think it was the day after the funeral, this sister, her name is Cora, she gets murdered with a hatchet, like very brutally. And the family's lawyer, who had read the will, decides to ask Poirot to go and investigate what's going on. Was Richard murdered? And who killed Cora? So he starts investigating all of this, and he's talking to the different family members and the different friends. And I just found the tempo of this book to be really wonderful. I really enjoyed it. It was an exciting read for me. I liked the characters, and I loved how Poirot in this one wasn't such a know-it-all. He didn't already know everything before it happened, or the idea of who might have done it or why wasn't really obvious to him. And I had a couple guesses on what I thought might be going on, but I was wrong, which is always kind of fun because it challenges me a little bit more. Out of the Agatha Christie books that I have read, this is my favorite one. I just found it to be very fun and exciting. There are a few passages in here that are very old school thinking and kind of outdated, but I mean, it was not written yesterday. I'm really glad that I did March Mystery Madness because I found a new author that I really enjoyed, and then a older author whose book I really, really loved. In fact, has this been made into a movie? If it has, let me know. But it's got me wanting to read more Agatha Christie. I'm kind of excited to read another one now. I will be back in a few days to do a quick review of all of the books that I read in March. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me during my March Mystery Madness week. And let me know if you did March Mystery Madness, and if you did you enjoy any of the books that you read? And if so, which ones? Okay, I'm done being nosy. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Happy reading. Bye.